I'm not afraid to talk salaries. Just give folks an idea, right? I went from making around 55,000 a year to a
Okay.
little over 140 in a 2 year period.
Wow.
Now there was a lot of things that had to line up in order to make that happen. There's 3 career jobs. I probably got a dozen different IT security certifications in a 2 year period. I tell everybody, just, like, get to 6 figures. Figure out do whatever it takes to get to 6 figures. Work your 60, 70-hour weeks, finish your education, get a master's degree, whatever the requirements are that are written on paper that everybody says you got to do.
Yeah.
I know it can be hard sometimes, but like figure out how to go get those requirements, right? And then put in that work. And then after that, you have a lot more options.
If you had to pick a few key factors that helped you go from 55,000 to 140,000 in 2 years, what would you kind of recommend?
You mentioned something early. You mentioned a mentorship, and like I gotta be honest, like I never placed like a big value on that in the beginning, and I was wrong. I was wrong for not doing that. I would say
Yeah.
the biggest factor for me, honestly, was meeting people who had done it, especially people who look like me, because you're gonna hit a point where it's like, man, this is hard. I don't know if it's worth it. Like,
Yeah.
and just having that support network and having those people to inspire you is going to be the biggest factor. For the practical things, if you're early in your career, don't be afraid to jump. Like there's, as far as I'm concerned, for the first 5 to 10 years of your job, there's no such thing as a job hopper, right? Like, do what you
Mm.
got to do to get ahead.
Give me your top certifications for somebody who is looking to get into cybersecurity.
The most influential, the most important is probably Security Plus. It's the one that everybody starts with. It's a gatekeeper certification. From there, I tend to push people towards the CISSP, especially if they're a veteran. Typically, if you're a veteran, you've worked anywhere near a computer, you've met enough requirements to sit for the CISSP. The CISSP is targeted towards any industry professionals with 5+ years of information security experience. What I'm trying to tell people is you got to separate your job from your career. And, you want in the beginning to be focused on getting a good job, like to get the job that pays well or whatever, and then once you've established yourself as a working professional, is making a good income or whatever, then like the career options start to open up. You start looking at
Mm.
mentoring, different networking events and things like of that nature. The best events are Black Hat and DEF CON, OWASP type events. My buddy's running a local OWASP chapter. OWASP is Open Web App Security Project. But in the beginning, it's really just hustle, man. You just got to put in the hours. That's
Gotcha.
really it. And it takes some risks. But I don't want to make it more complicated than it is. Whatever those applications say to do, go do as much of it as you possibly can. And if the first person says no, who cares? Keep applying. Keep applying to that company, keep applying to other companies.